G'day my friends, Marty Ware here from Marty's Garden. Look, did I waste all my money, all my hard-earned cash on this fertilizer that you see all around me? Possibly yes, possibly no. Watch the video, find out more guys. So, as you can see, I'm surrounded here by all different types of fertilizers, all in the NPK, lots of different minerals, everything you can use to start off an amazing organic garden at home. Now, this stuff, it's not cheap. Like, should we really just look at other options? Possibly yes, possibly no. It depends on where we are up to in the garden and where we are starting out. Now, I've got to be absolutely 100% honest with you guys. I bought all this stuff because I was like, I want to start teaching about organic fertilizers and whether they're good or bad and sort of how to use them. But geez, it cost me a lot of money, I tell you. And I'm not really happy about it, to tell you the truth. But the good thing is, it's going to come to a lot of value because it looks like we're setting up a new market garden not far from where I live. And this is going to go down a treat because it's a whole new space. And when you've got a new space, you've got to start using some amendments at the beginning. Until you start recycling and composting and you've got your soils really good, you can back right off on that stuff and save yourself a lot of money. But at the beginning, you've got to give everything a really, really good boost and get things cranking along. So I think my friend Stuart, who I'm going to be working with, he's watching this video right now. G'day Stu, you're going to be happy to see this. There's some really cool stuff here. All right, I'm going to break down each one for you. And you can look at maybe what's good for you, maybe what's not, and I'll talk about maybe why you need it, why you don't need it, what it's good and bad for. All right, let's break it down. So the first one we're going to look at is nitrogen. Now, I just produced a video all about how to use nitrogen in the garden for success. So I'm going to leave a link or card or whatever they are up the top here if you want to go and check that video out a bit later on. It'll really break this down. But this stuff is for accelerated fast growth, right? When you're first starting out, maybe in a container or in the ground. And it's blood feather meal. You'd never put it on seedlings, right? And it's really good for leafy greens when you want things quickly. Quick release, super heat, super hot. Just be really careful. Anyway, watch that video, find out more about that one. As I said, there'll be a link up there. Now, the next one, which really, you may not want all of these around. Actually, I'm going to grab this one and do that one last. Next one is phosphorus, guys. What do we need phosphorus for? And is it good? And is this 100% organic? Well, you'd find that it is. So phosphorus, roots, flowers, and fruiting. To get a really good root system, this has to be in the ground, right? But you've got to be a bit careful when using it and applying it. Look, I always recommend that you use less in the start and don't go over it, because if you go overboard with fertilizers, you can't bring it back, especially once you've dug it all through and you've created a problem. And the plant it may not be a problem there, but you've just wasted all your money. And a lot of time in the soils that we already have, there will already be something there, some phosphorus there. You might be adding some worm casting, some compost and things like that. So you really don't need to go a lot of it. Just follow the directions on the product, and you could possibly use around about half of that to get really, really good results. Now, if your soil's just totally dead and depleted, and you just know that there's nothing in there, it's just grey and horrible looking ground, then follow the exact instructions and start building the humus layers in your soil so you get the best results. When you're producing really good roots and they're going through the ground, it's going to open up the earth. Especially if you're putting in legumes and things like that at the beginning as cover crops. You really want to have a good amount of phosphorus in the soil because you want to be promoting a lot of good root growth. So you're getting those nodules down in the ground which produce their own nitrogen. And that way, you're getting a really good result out of that. And if you're putting this in pots and you're adding it to, say, a cheap compost, I mean, not cheap compost, like a cheap bag of potting mix or something like that, we're going to be covering some videos about that coming up, then you may not want to use this straight up. I'll show you a better option coming up. One of my favourites is potash. Yes, potassium. K on the NPK scale. And what it does is really, really awesome. Like, look, all the stuff's good, right? And it's all needed. But this is one of my favourites for many reasons, because this is like a big health boost for your plants. Now, it helps the sugars move up through cell walls as plants are photosynthesizing, and that's what it's all about, right? In a living soil down below in the ground. Now, we'll talk about how you can make your own like this, but if you want to go out and buy it, it comes in many different ways. Liquid, pellet form, things like this, like powder and stuff, and just follow the directions and go, like I said, always use less, and you can always add a little bit more later on. Now, really great for flowers and cell generation and sap flow. So as it's photosynthesizing the plant, it's going down and going, right now, I want some potash, I would like some potassium, please. Speaking to the microbes and fungi and different stuff down below, and it brings it up through the sap. And then it produces a really strong cell wall. And what that does then is stops nasty bugs and pests from coming on with their pincer and going, drop it in and going, I want some of your sap. I want to feed on some of your sugars that are going up through the plant. Well, the stem wall, nice and strong, says, no, sorry, sir, you do not get any today. This is all for me. So I absolutely love this stuff. Highly recommend it. It is beneficial in the garden. And if you want healthy plants, they're going to be pest resistant against all types of things, you need to have potash, potassium in your garden. All right, let's look at the next one here, right beside me. I think it's rock minerals. Now, rock minerals, one of my all-time favorites. Yep, this is right up there. Now, if you can get a rock mineral like this, which just has an NPK in it, really, really good stuff. Now, I did a whole video all on this because I absolutely love the stuff. And if you've got a pretty good soil already and a worm farm going, maybe all you need is this and your worm farm and a compost system. And you can just like crank out some of the best plants ever at your place. So I'm going to leave a card up there for that because this is quite a detailed video about this product, well, about rock dust, not so much about this product itself. Remember, I bought all this stuff. I'm not sponsored in any way or promoting any brands here. It's just something that I wanted to show. So rock minerals, highly beneficial, and if you're an organic gardener or moving in that direction, something that you want to have. Remember, as I said, there'll be a link, a card up here, however that works for you guys to check out that video. Okay, so you want to save some money? Just go out and don't be stupid like me and just buy an NPK organic all-round fertilizer. Apply this around and just use it sparingly at the start. Like I said, you can always add and scratch a little bit more in or put a bit into a watering can and start adding it slowly that way. Great stuff, complete fertilizer, and look, it may be all you need, but maybe not. Look, we've got another big bag behind us, and we'll have a look at that, and we'll discuss some different options about how you can get more minerals and different vitamins and different things into your garden to grow awesome plants. All right, let's grab this one behind and bring it over. This one's the big smelly one. Oh, yo. Whew. All right, so this is really heavy, so I better clear off this space a bit. Talk about seaweed and the minerals of seaweed. Seaweed is really, really cool stuff, right? So I've got too much stuff here. Really, again, I didn't need to go out and buy all that, but you get products like this. Now, I'm not a huge fan of using products. If you've been watching me for quite some time, I'm a fan of worm farming and building up organic, healthy soils, and then the biology actually feed the plants and everything come together. But in the beginning stages, when we've got terrible soils, we're still building our soils, or we're not composting much, we need to replenish back what's going out, because as we're harvesting our plants, we're not composting and putting it back in, we're taking everything away from our garden or farm, right? So things like this then are very beneficial. And even on most market gardens where we are composting, you still need to throw down some type of amendment, such as worm castings and compost, and then cover mulching to keep things going. And you would throw in occasionally some seaweed to build up the minerals that you've lost over time. You see, seaweed is an interesting plant. Now, it has a wide array of minerals, and depending where it's come from. Now, think about it this way, right? All the minerals are washing off the land. They're going into the ocean, and seaweed is one of the ones that suck it up. And it's one of the fastest growing plants in the ocean, and it's full chock-a-block of minerals and great nutrients. And what seaweed does, if you've got a heavy clay soil, it helps break up the soil. And if you've got a sandy soil, it'll actually help bind it together. So it works in both ways in your soil, which is really, really awesome. And then creates this slow release mineral fertilizer in there. Now this one is mixed with a bit of humus and different things. Now, they don't tell you exactly what's in it, and I'm a little bit suspect on that unless they tell you exactly what's in it. They just say seaweed and compost blended together, right, in like a pellet form. Now, to me, it smells like there's a little bit of chicken manure there. I could be wrong, but I'm mostly chasing this for the minerals that are in there. Now, if you're using rock minerals that come out of the volcano, you may not need to use this as well. Could be just overkill. Or you use this one time through the year and then add your rock minerals the other time. I wouldn't actually use both. I think you'd be wasting your money. But this is pretty good value. Again, I'm not sponsoring any product or promoting any type of product. Sea Sol, this one here, been around forever as a liquid formula and a pretty reputable brand. So I wouldn't say they'd be bringing out anything too junky. Now this will be going up to the market garden, and it's going to be very, very welcome there. That's for sure. So seaweed, it's one of the ones that I would look out for. Now you may actually want to even throw a couple of handfuls of this in your worm farm to get the minerals going as well. Just don't overdo it, because there could be some excess nitrogen in here and that may heat it up too much. But a little sprinkle here and there if you don't have rock minerals, which we talk about in the other video to do with worm farming, you may just want to do that. All right, guys, if you're digging the show, keep an eye on it because there's really cool stuff coming up. We're heading up to the market garden real soon. I'm going to show you up there and give you a rundown on what's going on at Marty's garden. Really exciting stuff coming up. Plenty for you to learn, watch, and enjoy. Have a great day. Happy gardening, and we'll see you at the next video / blog real soon. Bye for now. Oh, leave a question down below if you got any. I'd love to hear from you before you go. Ciao.